Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Taryn, the traveling trainer with GoTarryn Personal Training here in the greater Atlanta area, about to welcome another wonderful guest who's also here in Atlanta, Georgia, back to GoTarryn TV, registered dietitian and nutritionist Caitlin Russell of Russell Nutrition. Before Caitlin comes on to GoTarryn TV, I'd like to ask everyone out there, if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, share it with all of your friends and family out there. As I mentioned, Caitlin Russell, she's been on here before. She is a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and she's the authority that I speak to whenever I have questions regarding any kind of nutritional questions involving fitness, health, wellness, and the trends that are going on today with like the Mediterranean diet, keto diet, etc. So I'm going to ask her how her 2019 is going. I'm going to catch up with her and just see what she thinks of some of the fads that are out there, and also find out what has she been up to and what has Russell Nutrition been doing this year of 2019 thus far. So it'll be a wonderful time for Caitlin and I to play catch up. And so when we come back, we will have Caitlin Russell of Russell Nutrition right here on GoTarryn TV, so don't go away. And remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, and as I promised, we have Caitlin Russell here from Russell Nutrition. Once again, Caitlin, how are you doing out there today?
I'm great, Taryn. How are you?
Very good, thank you, and thanks for joining me again, and great to have you on here. We haven't talked since last year, and so I guess the first question is, since this is our first time chatting in 2019, how's your year going so far?
It's really good. It's been very busy with, both family and work, so I can't complain. You know, we're healthy, and so it's been a good year so far. How about you?
Yeah, same. You know, everything's going well. I remember that one time I saw you at the Second Ponce de Leon Baptist Church there, bringing the girls there swimming. So I guess, have you guys, do you still go there for swimming too?
We have switched to a different pool, but yeah, they're still swimming year round. So yeah, we found a place. We moved actually since I last saw you. So we moved to a pool that's a little closer to our house.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, that's great. Where did you guys move to?
We are just a little north of where we were before, and we're in Sandy Springs.
Nice. Yeah. Good location. Yeah, Sandy Springs is great. That's really growing. That's one of the hottest developments, it looks like, anywhere in Atlanta. The traffic, too, I'm sure you can, speak to that as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, I can't complain. We were in Buckhead before, and traffic just, it seems to get worse every year, wherever you are in Atlanta. In Sandy Springs, it's nice because we're able to commute. Our commute's not bad. I mean, I work from home, but just to get the girls to school and go grocery shopping and, live our life, it's a little bit easier up here. But, maybe when we were younger, we really enjoyed Buckhead. But now with the family, it's a little bit easier up in Sandy Springs for us.
Oh, Sandy Springs is great. You got everything you need up there. And, again, that's the beauty of being able to work from home, too. And, just you've got the best of all worlds. So that's wonderful. And last time we were chatting, I know you were telling me about the virtual nutritional coaching. And how's that been going, too, would you say, this year?
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So my main focus has been, it's kind of evolved over the years. I started out kind of as a generalist when I graduated from nutrition school and finished my internship. I was kind of seeing everybody and anybody, mostly, for general health and wellness and weight loss. And then over the years, that's gradually evolved into kind of what I'm passionate about, which is digestive health and then adult weight loss. Mm-hmm. And they kind of go hand in hand. But I have people that come to me for one reason or the other, and we generally, we'll focus on whatever it is that they want to focus on. But my focus in my work and in my marketing and what I publish when I do blog posts is really, it comes down to what I've learned what has worked for me, because I myself have struggled over the years with digestive issues. I've struggled with weight my whole life. And I've finally figured out what really works. And it's not really what I was taught in school. So I'm having to do a lot of research on my own, and so it's been really exciting. And so that's why, I mean, I love what I do, and it's thrilling to get to help people, and I can do it virtually, which is even better. I don't have to drive anywhere or pay rent. People don't have to pay to park or sit in traffic to work with me. So it works for me. It's not for everybody. There are pluses and minuses to working by yourself at home. You miss out on the socializing at work kind of thing, but I do socialize with other dietitians and other practitioners. So, and then we do things like this, which I really love too. So.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's a big win-win because like you said, Caitlin, a big part of, especially living in Atlanta, you save so much time when you don't have to. I'm talking about the clients and the customers. That's just excellent option for them to have. So, when it comes to your clients, Caitlin, I know we've talked about this in the last couple of years together, but what are the typical most clients come to you? Predominantly, what do you see more than anything else when they come to you? Why is the reason why they need nutritional counseling and help, would you say, just generally speaking, for most people?
Well, lately, I'd say in the past year, it's been a lot of digestive health.
Okay.
And that has, I asked people, how did you find me? And some of them I know, or they know me from our children's school or from church. But I've gotten a lot of business just from Google searches. I've got my website redesigned, and I had some help to get Google, the search engines to pull me up when people would search for certain things. Mm-hmm. And so my website will pop up when people put in, for example, keywords such as digestion or food sensitivities, headaches, things, skin issues, things like that. And then as well, also for weight loss. And so, but I've had a lot of people, I'd say probably 70% of my clients in the past year have been more clinical, where I'm really helping them with some lab work and working with, their doctor that they're already seeing. If they've got issues with their digestion, Crohn's, colitis, IBS, all the things that, most people probably don't want to talk about, but when you have the problem, it consumes your life. And so to be able to help people with that, it's very rewarding. So that's kind of where my focus has been. But my other passion is also just general weight loss. Say somebody doesn't necessarily have digestive issues that they think, they don't have a problem with, but they come for weight loss. And so I'm about to start a new group program focusing on weight loss, coming from a whole body perspective, not just, calories in, calories out. That's mm-hmm. not the paradigm I work from. Mm-hmm. It's more looking at the whole person. And so I'll be launching that soon, putting out some blog posts and videos and marketing for that, and kind of getting the word out about that. So I'll let you know when I get that going.
Yeah, definitely. Please do. Yeah, I'm very interested. And, you'd mentioned with the digestive issues, since we last spoke, another thing that happened that you don't know this yet, but I'll go ahead and tell you that my wife actually got diagnosed with celiac disease last year. And it was a puzzle. It was a mystery. She didn't know what it was yet. It didn't know it was celiac because she had been having, like you just said, headaches and some really weird side effects, like a lot of neurological things. And so they ruled out a lot of things as a process of elimination. But anyway, she saw finally a gastroenterologist who diagnosed her with celiac. And that's she definitely has it. Her grandfather had it. I understand it's could be hereditary. And so now that she has it, it's definitely a major digestive disease, an autoimmune problem, and something that she's had to adjust with. So I guess, have you had, are you hearing more of that now with this whole, you mentioned food sensitivity, like gluten and problems like that. Are you hearing more of that as well that goes along with that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. And more and more people, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but it seems, from what I hear and talking to other clinicians, it seems, it's really ramping up in terms of autoimmune problems, autoimmune diseases. digestive issues. And so, until we can kind of figure out what's going on, which I have my ideas, but yeah, I mean, definitely it seems to be on the rise, unfortunately. But on the other hand, the good news is that there are many therapies out there that are simple and effective. For celiac, as you know, you have to avoid wheat and gluten. And so, a lot of people are, gluten-free is the big thing right now. And some people think that it's kind of bogus and not a big deal. And people are kind of going after it, because it's like a fad thing. But I don't see a lot of celiac clients. Those typically go more with a gastroenterology practice and get managed there with their dietitians. But I do see a lot of my clients come to me, not necessarily with overt celiac, but we find out through elimination diet, through working with them and their diet, that they're very sensitive to gluten and wheat. I myself we're gluten-free in my family. We don't have celiac. We do have some of the genetic markers. We've done some genetic testing, and it does show that we're susceptible to developing it. So we're trying to prevent it through lifestyle and diet, and we take, a few supplements here and there to kind of bolster our immunity and our gut health. So yeah, it can be challenging in that a lot of people don't understand celiac or other digestive issues, and maybe what you have to eat or not eat and how strict you have to be. Someone with celiac, they can't have anything made with gluten. And some people are so sensitive to it or so allergic to it that even something made in the same kitchen or on shared equipment with wheat products can affect a person with celiac. And so they have to be very, very careful when they have something like that. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, my wife, you're speaking of her, that's exactly how sensitive it is for her, because we can't even go out to eat anymore. We don't go out to anywhere because even if they offer gluten-free options, it was kind of a guess and test. She tried some places that offered gluten-free, and she still had terrible reactions. And it's just like you said, because it might have been prepared in the same kitchen, or the gluten-wheat allergies kind of in the air, the particles, and a lot of, there is definitely something to it, definitely, yeah, medically speaking, because I can see it firsthand, and she knows right off, like you said, that's exactly how sensitive it is for her. So she's getting a lot of those food sensitivity testings. But you're right, what you said, like growing up in my undergraduate and formal professional training with personal fitness and nutrition, I never even, to be honest with you, I didn't even know what gluten-free was until, I don't know, like in recent memory and hearing about celiac disease and some of this other issues. But it really is prevalent. Like you said, I think a lot of people think that it might be vogue and, oh yeah, let's try gluten-free. But there's certainly, yeah, I think you're right. I think there's definitely something to it. And you're seeing a lot more restaurants and grocery stores go that way. But not only food, but in her case, makeup products, cleaning products, cat litter, of all things, believe it or not. I mean, it's crazy. It's things that you wouldn't even, I wouldn't think of, certainly. So, but yeah, that's interesting to see that. But as far as the weight loss is concerned, you spoke of the group program that you're working on. So, you hear a lot about these, and we've talked about this before, but these fad diets, and the big one I keep hearing about is the keto diet. Everyone keeps talking to me about that, and just generally speaking, they ask, is that a good one? And it just seems to be like some of these diets take off, and you've heard Mediterranean diet, and, of course, growing up, we always heard of the Atkins diet. There's so many of them, but, what's your take, I guess, Caitlin, on all these different fads and diets, and why are they so hot, but then all of a sudden they die out and then another one replaces it? Is it some of it marketing too?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, some of it's marketing. I think as Americans, we tend to want a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
And you find the one thing that's going to work for you, and you're good. But what I find in working with clients is there is no one-size-fits-all approach. You have to tailor it to a person's genetics, their lifestyle, their preferences. So to answer your question with keto, is it a fad? Well, yes and no. I mean, hundreds of years ago, or even thousands of years ago, as we were evolving as humans, we would naturally go and, now this is speculation because we obviously didn't have video back then and lots of recordings and, but from what scientists and archaeologists have been able to figure out, is that we probably transitioned from sugar burning to fat burning a lot as we were evolving as humans, because we weren't constantly surrounded by food like we are now. We are constantly surrounded by 24-hour grocery stores, fast food chains that are open all the time. Everywhere you go, there's food. At work, at school, there's a party or a vending machine is available, or, so we're led to believe that, well, there's all this food, then I must need to eat a lot. And so that's what we're told, is we need to eat, multiple meals per day. And that works for some people, but it doesn't work for other people. But getting back to the keto, I believe too, from the science I've read and the research I've done, is that as humans, we probably evolved transitioning in and out of ketosis a lot. You go into a little bit of ketosis overnight when, after you've eaten dinner and you go through and you're not eating, while you're sleeping, and then say you don't eat right away when you wake up, your body's in a little bit of mild ketosis right there, because you haven't eaten for about maybe 10 to 12 to 14 hours, depending on how long. And so at that point, your body's kind of run through the food that you've ingested through a meal or a snack. And so it has to switch over to burning some body fat. And so that's what ketosis is you're burning your own body fat for fuel. And your body is an amazing thing that it's able to do what it needs to do to keep you alive and to keep you healthy. And so ketosis is really a natural way of being physiologically. Now people can take that too far, and they hear, okay, well, to be on a keto diet, then I can eat all the butter I want, and I can eat all the meat I want, and I can eat all the nuts I want, and I'm not supposed to have any sort of carbohydrate. And I've talked to people who do well on that kind of keto for a little while, but then say they want to lose weight and they've lost some weight, but then they tend to plateau. And it's not really sustainable, because I don't know about you, but, I would get really kind of tired of just eating steak all the time. I mean, as weird as that sounds, I mean, I love a good grass-fed steak, but I don't eat it all the time. I do eat, really good wild-caught fish and have a very varied diet. But so I think with keto, people, they're desperate. And they hear that it works, because it does work. If you do not consume carbohydrates and you are eating pure fat and protein, then you will go into ketosis and you will lose weight. But is it sustainable? And is it something that, really works for you? Because some people it doesn't work. But so I don't think it's going to go away. I think people are becoming more they're becoming more educated on keto and what healthy keto can be. And it doesn't mean that you can never have, a sweet or something like that, but it's something that I think as we learn more and more about human physiology and how what we eat affects our gut microbiome and our immune system and, personalized nutrition. I mean, you can go and get tested through, a stool sample or, many different ways through saliva or blood work, and get told by a company that's done some research what's the ideal diet for you. Now, I tend to not push that. I try to help people without getting tested, but just, eating kind of in a way that would work for them. But I think keto, it's got its place, but I think we need to be smart about it, and we can't just, anything in excess is not a good thing. I mean, too much water is not a good thing. You can die from drinking too much water. So, I mean, you have to look at everything with, okay, is this kind of am I doing something kind of really weird and wacky, or am I just making little tweaks and changes to my diet? And that's kind of what I encourage. So, yeah.
No, that's a good answer. I like that, because I think you're right. I think there needs to be probably more long-term empirical data and research done. And so, yeah, I've just, in the last year, maybe two, I've heard this whole keto phenomena come about, and I just wonder what it's going to look like 5-10 years from now. Like you said, the big word is sustainability. I wonder what that's going to entail.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, eating healthy fat is important. I think, I know very few people who can get away with a really low fat, high carb diet, who are kind of your average person, not your maybe elite athlete or somebody who's, kind of an outlier. But most of us need, a certain amount of healthy fat, a certain amount of protein, healthy protein, and a lot of vegetables. Whether they're above ground or below ground. I tend to steer my weight loss clients more towards above ground vegetables. And I ask them to make 75% of their plate most of the time, those above ground vegetables. And for some people, that's a huge change from, eating a bagel at breakfast and then, a sandwich at lunch with chips. And then a big dinner, it's a big bowl of pasta with, some meat sauce and no vegetables. So, I mean, that's a huge step. So we go baby steps. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't think it's going away, but I think we need to become more, thoughtful about the whole thing and not just, I feel like we've kind of gone into this like keto party mode where all these keto treats are popping up and you can use all these different fancy sugars. They're supposed to not raise your blood sugar, but they still affect your insulin level. And that's really, insulin is the hormone that is really the key one to work on lowering if you want to lose weight. And so, it's fun. I mean, I eat some keto meals and some not keto meals. So I'm just, I'm not a purist. I'm not the food police. I kind of work with people and what they want to do. So
yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It's all about literature. And then, are you impressed, Caitlin, with as far as when you go out to the grocery stores and restaurants, do you think they're doing a good job of giving healthier options than, say, 10, 15 years ago? Are you seeing that out there when you're shopping or going out to eat?
Well, I don't go out to eat a whole lot. And when we do, we typically go to kind of the fast casual places like Willie's here in Atlanta. They have, it's like a Tex-Mex place, but they have lots of fresh, stuff. And that's why I love going there. But, in the grocery store, I do feel that restaurants they're kind of, they're listening. I mean, obviously they have to listen to their clientele and what are they asking for. I was just in my car yesterday and I was with my daughter and I looked over and I saw a restaurant that's known for their biscuits. I won't name the name, but they're known for their biscuits and their really good breakfasts. And it said that they have gluten-free biscuits now. Wow. And so now obviously for celiac, it's probably not going to be a good fit because they're made in a kitchen where they're using regular wheat flour. But for someone who's just as a preference wants to eat gluten-free, then that's an option now for them. So it's slow, to change in the restaurant business, and in the business world and the medical world too. But people are very creative and they're able to kind of, you're able to vote with your wallet about how to, if they're not going to offer me what I'm looking for, then I'm not going to go there anymore. But with grocery stores, I am always fascinated by what I find in the grocery store. I mean, obviously the produce section never changes, it's always the lettuce and the kale and and now I guess they are adding in things that are kind of becoming more popular, like spiralized butternut squash, that you could do at home, but they're selling it pre-done for you. So that's, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then going up and down the grocery store aisles, like where it's just the shelf, stable things. I'm always amazed at, wow, this company has come up with a cracker that's grain-free. How did they do that? And I flip it over and I look at the ingredients. I'm like, oh, I wonder how it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
I wish grocery stores would offer more maybe samples so we could try something before we bought it rather than spend $5 on a box of grain-free crackers and they taste, like cardboard. But it's all I do. I mean, this is my living is food and helping people figure out what to eat. And so I'm always looking for the new latest thing, and for me personally too, what tastes good, what's new and different, what's going to help me and also help my clients everybody's busy. If you have kids or you don't, if you work, or you're taking care of a loved one who's maybe sick, we all are looking for shortcuts, but we don't want to shortcut our own health. And so food products that allow us to save time, but not shortcut our, eating healthy, that's a big win for me when I find that. So
yeah.
I like going into the grocery store and buying things that are pre-cut. That just saves me time. I mean, I know how to chop up an onion, but I buy a lot of pre-diced onions that are frozen at the grocery store because that's one less thing I have to do to get dinner on the table. And hey, if it's going to save me 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to do it. Might cost a little bit more, but for me, it's worth it.
Time is money. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I mean, if they offer that, absolutely. Do you have a preference of grocery stores? Do we find you more in Whole Foods or Fresh Market, or where do you usually like to go, Caitlin?
Oh, I go all around.
Okay.
I do. It depends where I am. Like if I've dropped the kids off at school, then I'm probably going to go to Publix,
Okay.
if I need to go to the grocery store because I'm near that. Or if I am, near getting gas at Kroger, then I'll probably go to Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Trader Joe's. I don't know what it is. They don't have everything I need, like for the household. Like Kroger has basically anything and everything you could want.
Mm-hmm.
But Trader Joe's, they just have I love their pre-packaged fresh produce that they'll go ahead and chop up like the cabbage, onions, and, I don't know, they'll just come up with all these really cool vegetable combinations. And I'm like, yes, it's already done. All I have to do is rip open the packaging and saute it or roast it. And I don't know. I just really like that grocery store. It's smaller, so I don't feel overwhelmed when I walk in there. Whole Foods is always great. When we're in a hurry, and for dinner and say we've got somebody that needs to be somewhere at 6 p.m. and somebody needs to be somewhere at 6:30 and I've had a busy day with work, and they had a late after school thing. I don't have time to cook a full meal. We'll go to Whole Foods once a week and we'll just go through their hot bar line and, get a healthy meal from there. We don't get the pizza, but, it's so that, and I love all the different kind of cool things that Whole Foods has too. So it's hard. I wish they were all in one store, but I kind of have to shop around.
Yeah. I think you're right. And speaking of, we were talking about restaurants earlier about the whole cross-contamination. There are 2 restaurants. Well, one that we've discovered that's 100% gluten-free for specifically people like my wife. It's called Mediterranea, and it's out in Grant Park. One of my clients was able to recommend that to us. Wonderful. And then a second one that I've heard of that we haven't tried yet, it's fairly new. It's right here in Buckhead where I'm at, called Karma Farm. I think it's within only the last year, and it's over on Far Road near Peachtree Road. So I think we're going to check that out soon. I'll have to tell you how that is. But they're supposed to be 100% gluten-free, the entire restaurant, so you don't have to worry about. So that's good. I'm glad that they're coming and becoming more progressive that way. So that's a good sign for people like me and my wife, and for the others that suffer from that.
Yeah, those restaurants, I mean, they're usually formed when the owner or a family member of the owner has celiac.
That makes sense.
And so they realize, gosh, when I go out to eat, there's nothing that I can have or my family members can have. So they decide to create it themselves, which is what I love about America, is just the ingenuity and the ability to just to do something like that. I mean, and gosh, opening a restaurant is tricky.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've never done it, but I have friends that are chefs or have been in the industry, and it's a hard, thing to do. It takes a lot of money and dedication. So when you go there, just and this, but I hope people realize how much goes into doing something like that, and then to making it a specialized market for completely gluten-free. I mean, that's pretty special. So I'll have to check those out. I didn't know about them.
Yeah. Mediterranean in Grant Park and Karma Farm in Buckhead. I think that's wonderful. And, wow, we're 30 minutes. This has flown by so fast, Caitlin. I want to thank you very much. But before we let you go, this has been a lot of fun catching up. Let's make sure we plug your website, your and contact information, your new website that you've renovated. I want to definitely check that out. Let's go ahead and plug that now, please.
Yeah, so I'm at russellnutrition.com. It's RUSSELL nutrition.com. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to get better at posting more on there, but it takes time. So but everything's there on the website. And so you can send me an email. I'll be launching my group program there soon. I've got two free ebooks, a short 3-day reset if someone's kind of looking for just a simple way to kind of, want to make some changes with my diet, so they can sign up for free on my website and get a free copy.
Perfect. I'll be sending my wife your way. I will definitely check that out. I'd like to see the new website, Caitlin. That's wonderful. And again, thank you so much, Caitlin. This has been a lot of fun, and I think that let's do another one of these very soon and talk about that group, program that's going on and seeing how that's going by then.
That would be great. Thank you, Taryn.
Well, my pleasure, Caitlin. We'll let you go. Have a great rest of your day. And for the folks watching as we fade to black, here comes Russell Nutrition's website contact information right now.